buses. Right, okay, I'm going to get your next act on now. You ready for that?
Hey.
Please clap and cheer for the fantastic Rob Morley Yellow!
Thank you very much. Oh shit, it is absolutely fucked up.
It's done.
People often say to me, they say, hey, you always remember your first time, don't you? And that stands to reason, because if you forgot your first time, then you think the second time was your first time, and you remember that, and all your mates will be like, no mate, that's your second time, and you'd be like, no, that's my first time, and then you'd stick to your narrative, and when you've forgotten your second time as well, you'd think your third time was your first time, and your mates would be like, nah, stop smoking so much weed, dude, it's really bad for you, and that went down like the Titanic. He said, do loads of shit jokes. And I just misheard it ever so slightly. But I think it's important to always try and remember your first times, those important moments in your life, like the first time you see the love of your life, or the first time you go somewhere special, or the first time you have the meal that you love especially, or the first time you drive a car, or the first time you hotwire a car, first time you do 100 miles an hour in a school zone. And first time you hit a minibus full of kids on the way to a church orphans day out. First time you stand in front of the judge and he looks at you and he says, he asks what sort of person you are. And in a bid to establish that you are a sensible, responsible member of the community, you say, yeah, I'm a stand-up comedian. And you realise that's the worst possible measure of a responsible member of the community. What? So you stand in front of people and make up stories and exaggerate the truth just to get cheap laughs. And you're like, yeah, that's my life. And then you start trying to do your crowd work on the jury. So what's your name? What do you do for a living? Where do you come from? Your mum? Frigate, I'd destroy her. You didn't say they had to be good shit. No. She just said they had to be shit.
Sideswiping that one.
But yeah, it's really important. And I think so many of the great firsts in humanity's history have been lost. I'd love to invent a time machine and go back and see some of these great firsts. The first sausage. What a great moment in history that would be. Can you imagine the train of thought that led up to that? The middle managers in their product meeting one Wednesday morning going, right, you know that bit of the sheep where all the mushed up grass goes before it turns into shit and farts? You know that bit? Well, and you know we've been trying to think of something to do with it. And you know how the old condom idea didn't work out very well? Because it couldn't hold the semen. Absolute quantity, not quality, 200%. You know how that didn't work out? Well, we've thought of something new to do with that bit of the sheep. So what you do is you cut it out and then you wash it. Really important to wash it. The first couple of times we didn't do that. Absolute disaster. Cut it out, you wash it, you chop it up, you fill it full of meat and herbs, and yeah, I do know that it looks a bit like a penis, but you throw it on the fire. I mean, when you take it off, you'll never believe this, it tastes amazing. So much better than a penis. And the middle managers in the room, they're clapping, and they're cheering. It's like, yes, we've invented something new. And the guys who invented bread, and they're like, we've been waiting 8,000 years for this, and finally we can invent this sandwich. Yay! It's important moments and very, very significant. And I do think as well, if I had a time machine, we could go back to the world's first open mic stand-up comedy night. Imagine how amazing that would be. Bunch of cavemen stood around the fire in a cave, because that's what they do, cavemen, stand around the cave. Standing around the fire in the cave, and maybe it's a bit tense. Maybe it's a bit, there's a bit of tension in the air, because they're worried about who's the alpha male, or who's eating all the mammoth, and whose turn it is to polish the clubs. So there's a bit of tension in the air, and one of them, he's feeling a bit confident. He stands up, and he decides to tell a joke. He doesn't know what a joke is yet, because nobody's invented the joke. He stands up and he looks at his mate and he goes, "Ugh, he hung like squirrel." And the crowd erupts. They're absolutely fascinated because they have witnessed the dawn of the dick joke. The first in a very, 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 very long line of dick jokes that continues to this very day. And the crowd are cheering. It's like the opening of 2001: Space Odyssey, but with more dicks. Dicks. The crowd are absolutely going mad. The spoonerisms are falling out all over the place. And then another one stands up. Another one. "My wolf got no nose. How does it smell?" Terrible. And it's not a dad joke because there's not been any dads telling that joke yet. It's still funny. And then another one turns up. This one's not called Ugg, he's called Algernon Smith Bias, because there's always one Homo sapien slumming it in the Neanderthals. And he goes, "Knock, knock." And the crowd go, "Fucking hell, we live in a cave. We haven't invented doors yet." Imagine, and in the side of the cave there's a Neanderthal version of Jack stood there with his club, waiting to knock you off stage if you last more than your 7 minutes, sorry. Or in those days, torch moves down by 1 finger width if you want to be absolutely pedantic. But imagine, those were the days. You had a room full of hairy ass blokes sitting around in the dark, telling each other dick jokes. And look where we are now. Well, some things don't change, do they? I've been Rob Moore, you've been lovely, thank you very much.